What's going on, y'all? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music and entertainment breakdowns and commentary. Now, y'all know this is not a political show, not a political channel, but it must be noted and spoken about with this whole TikTok ban that they're trying to push through in the U.S. government. As of yet, TikTok is not banned. You can still go to the app and use it. And even if the ban necessarily goes through, you're still going to have some time to use it, right? Because they're going to give TikTok about 5 months to figure out their affairs before the ban actually goes active, all right? So throughout the majority of this year, you're kind of safe. Now, we're going to talk about the ban, but we're also going to talk about how it will affect creators, not only just in the music industry, although we're going to tackle that as well, but we're also going to address how that's going to affect creators that make a living, or make money from TikTok, right? Because they got the TikTok shops and artists are on there. People are building businesses, entrepreneurs and whatnot. A lot of people are going to be affected if TikTok just ceases to exist in America, right? So this is the thing that I think the U.S. government is overlooking. They're treating this as a data and security issue, but they really don't give a fuck about our data and security. They care about data, right? But they don't care about our security, not really. But let's get into what's going on politically, just to address the situation. I'm not going to go deep into that, but, just address what these old farts are trying to do and how it's coming along, right? So as of yesterday, the House voted with bipartisan overwhelming fashion to pass a bill that could lead to a nationwide ban against TikTok, a major challenge to one of the world's most popular social media apps. The bill would prohibit TikTok from being in U.S. app stores unless, there's a caveat, unless they decide to sell the company, or at least the U.S. holdings of their company, which is about 170 million people on there. Like, they don't have really no incentive to sell other than the money, but they don't want the money. They want to keep their shit because they own it. It's theirs. They created it. They made it. It's rightfully theirs, right? So they want to create a spin-off of the Chinese parent company ByteDance to some funky ass niggas out here in America that think they could do a better job of securing our data, right? Now, the House vote was 352 to 65, with 50 Democrats and 15 Republicans voting in opposition. The higher number is those that were in support. That 65 was those that voted against, right? Lawmakers supportive of the bill have argued that TikTok poses a national security threat because the Chinese government could use their intelligence laws against ByteDance, forcing it to hand over the data of U.S. app users. The push to pass the bill came up against headwinds from several different political directions. Trump originally was a source of resistance. He wanted to get rid of TikTok during his seat in the office. He's singing a different tune right now. He actually thinks that TikTok going away today would only propel Facebook and make them more effective or make them more prevalent in the culture, which he believes is a bigger enemy to the U.S. due to their information and data practices, because y'all still ain't got them niggas in check, and y'all done took them to court, litigation, legislation, all type of shit. Ain't shit happened, ain't shit changed on there from my experience. But anyway. Yeah. So TikTok creators in Beijing have responded angrily to this upcoming vote, with China's foreign ministry calling it an act of bullying, right? The bill passed by the U.S. House of Representatives puts the U.S. on the opposite side of the principle of fair competition and international economic and trade rules, spokesperson from China's foreign ministry said, right? So they resisting this shit. They not with it. Again, this bill would give ByteDance roughly 5 months to sell TikTok. If not divested by that time, it would be illegal for app store operators such as Apple and Google to make it available. So it would just be taken down and forgotten about, unless you're going to use a VPN, which use at your own discretion and leisure, I suppose, but beware. TikTok has called the legislation an attack on their constitutional right to freedom and expression. It's launched a call to action campaign within the app, urging users to call their representatives in Washington to oppose the bill. Multiple congressional offices have said they've been flooded with calls. So people are actively actually trying to keep this thing in existence because, again, there's so much at stake here that they're not taking into consideration because they want to stick it to China. Okay. Now, in a statement on Wednesday's vote, TikTok said its attention would now shift to the Senate, where the fate of the legislation is unclear. This process was secret, and the bill was jammed through for one reason: it's a ban. We are hopeful that the Senate will consider the facts, listen to their constituents, and realize the impact on the economy, 7 million small businesses, and 170 million Americans who use our service. All right. So I'm going to play Suzy Chu, who is the CEO, if I'm not mistaken, of TikTok. It came out with a statement. That quote I just said came from his video, but I'm going to play the whole thing so you can hear what they have to say in defense of their own app in their own platform. Being though that they are hoping for some sort of, I don't know, hope, leniency. We're just going to have to see if that happens. But again, we're going to listen to Suzy.
Hi everyone, it's Show here. Just wanted to share some thoughts with our US users about the disappointing vote in the House of Representatives. There has been a lot of misinformation, and I hope to clarify some things. First, thank you to our incredible community. You are what makes TikTok so special. Thank you for making your voices heard. Over the last few years, we have invested to keep your data safe and our platform free from outside manipulation. We have committed that we will continue to do so. This legislation, if signed into law, will lead to a ban of TikTok in the United States. Even the bill sponsors admit that that's their goal. This bill gives more power to a handful of other social media companies. It will also take billions of dollars out of the pockets of creators and small businesses. It will put more than 300,000 American jobs at risk, and it will take away your TikTok. We know how important TikTok is to all of you. It has given our 170 million users a platform to freely express themselves, and has empowered more than 7 million businesses in the United States. Our platform matters to the small business owners who rely on TikTok to make ends meet, to the teachers who inspire millions of students to learn, and to everyone who discovers and finds joy on TikTok. We will not stop fighting and advocating for you. We will continue to do all we can, including exercising our legal rights, to protect this amazing platform that we have built with you. We believe we can overcome this together. I encourage you to keep sharing your stories. Share them with your friends. Share them with your family. Share them with your senators. Protect your constitutional rights. Make your voices heard. Love you all.
All right, so that's the message from Suzy Chu from TikTok, letting it be known. He estimates that 300,000 American jobs would be at stake if TikTok goes down. Now, that's a lot. Joe Biden, you might want to reconsider, brother, because one of the main issues in any presidency is employment, money, finance, economic growth, stimulation. So if 300,000 people lose their income streams, whether they be on TikTok making money from TikTok shops, even though some of them items are straight crap, horse shit, as I say, you know, a lot of them are not useful. It's basically Temu on that bitch, but people are buying it. People are definitely spending money on there. People are definitely making profits on there. They're competing with Amazon, and that is the real issue. TikTok already has a stronghold on the music industry. They got the motherfuckers in a chokehold. Every label for the past 5-6 years has been trying to figure out how to keep their artists going viral. If they sign a new artist, they're trying to make sure they viral. They're even scouting artists off of the app and saying, get that motherfucker out here now before somebody else grabs them up, for people that are going viral on their own. Furthermore, creators are making dances, right? Routines, all types of viral content that's propelling the music because they've been using the sounds. Next thing you know, we have Universal Music going to war with TikTok because of their licensing agreement, and they wanted more money, right? They say y'all are just using our music, popping off, and y'all don't want to pay us properly for what we've given you. Universal said, hey, make us a better offer. TikTok made them a worse offer and said, suck my D. Universal walked away. All of the Drakes, the Taylor Swifts, all these big artists came down. But what people did not suspect was coming was that the Universal Publishing Division would also take down the music. We're going to get into that in a minute too, because people that are not mainstream artists, people that are just signed to the label or may have publishing agreements or worked with somebody that's in a publishing agreement with Universal are now facing the music, literally, because their music's also being taken down. They're losing income streams. They're losing virality. They're losing traction on their music, which means that it's hard for them to make ends meet. Moolah is coming up short and their attention is being shifted, right? Not only that, but let's take this to a practical level. How many of y'all have logged on TikTok and learned something new in the last few days? You know, not even from the music, not even from the dances, not even from all of that entertainment shit. What about the facts and information that's being spread on TikTok on a daily basis, right? People that are much more educated than ourselves, teaching us about concepts, whether it be business, whether it be political, whether it be about social campaigns and things going on in the world that we just haven't been privy to, whether it be motherfuckers that don't know how to cook and you learning how to cook from all of these home chefs, home cooks that's teaching you recipes, teaching you what they do for their families to feed 6 motherfuckers on an $80 budget. All this type of stuff is going on TikTok, man. And it's hurting American businesses, so they say. It's bullshit, but if they can remove a competitor, such a competitor as a TikTok, yeah, they feel like it's going to go back to the good old days. Sounds like how they treat black people, don't it? So, like I said, TikTok Shop is now competing with Amazon. They don't like that shit, right? Not to mention, TikTok diverts a lot of attention away from American-owned companies such as Meta, Facebook, Instagram. They've been taking a hit since TikTok been that nigga. Okay? Twitter is still doing its thing, but, you know, even that has been taking a hit. A lot of the content that I see on Twitter is still coming from TikTok. A lot of the videos that are used, they got TikTok watermarks, blooms on them. So there's a certain collaboration effort that's happening that keeps them in the conversation. But the profits are not going to the American-owned companies, right? The same way they don't like how people be buying all the foreign cars, you know, buying from the Hondas, the Hyundais, you know what I'm saying? All these other companies out there, buy American, so they say. Shit. The American shit ain't even made here. Fuck y'all. But let's get into some of these artists being affected by what's going on. Okay? Because these stories are widely untold. And we're not talking about no big people. We're talking about folks that are in the industry working with the big artists, but not seeing the big profits, and now they're being at risk, and more are going to be at risk, because if it becomes where TikTok is completely banned, it's not just going to be Universal artists that struggle. It's going to be Warner, Sony. Everybody is going to lose because all of that stuff is coming down. None of the American audience of 170 million users or billion, I forgot the damn number. I don't think we got 170 billion motherfuckers out here. So it got to be 170 million. Wiped out, no longer using it, no longer having access, no longer able to discover, which is why TikTok is such a big deal, because it fosters music discovery. The labels are going to suffer tremendously. They don't have the same amount of traction on Instagram. I'm going to tell you that right now. They don't have the same amount of traction. You thought these fans was trying to come together and join bases to try to support Nicki Minaj and support motherfucking Megan Thee Stallion with his. These fan bases gonna have to really they're gonna have to get together and start camping out, start putting tents up, start lighting campfires. Y'all gonna really have to do some insider trading to keep your favorite artists in the mix. Right? So let's get into these stories. Okay? Now, Republic UMG artists, they say he was half kidding, but I'm sure he wasn't kidding at all. He was on a red carpet last month, and they asked him what he thought of his music being removed from TikTok meant. He said, I mean, my career's over for sure. I'm never going to have a hit song ever again at this rate. He was joking, but we will see what you do, Mr. Conan, because I don't even know you. We've got artist / songwriter Bonnie McKee. Again, these are people that you don't know, but she works with Katy Perry, Britney Spears, some high power artists, but she's not on their level. She says it really hurts. TikTok is how you get the word out about a new song. And now you're muting someone's entire catalog. The labels say TikTok is so important and can push their artists to be active on the platform. Now we can't. It wasn't that long ago. Halsey was on TikTok crying her motherfucking eyes out because her label was not moving forward with the release of her single or her album until she could go viral on TikTok. She wasn't going viral on TikTok until she got on that bitch crying and she finally went viral. Now, ain't that something? Right? We've got alternative pop artist Versotsky, right? He has a hybrid distribution deal with an independent label called Preach Records, which is owned by Virgin, but distributed by UMG by proxy. So, clink, music gone. He says, as an artist, I want my music to reach as many people as possible. If it's not connecting right away, you start to realize your biggest fear. No one is hearing your work. To have the biggest social media platform mute all of the songs that I put so much energy into over the past 2 or 3 years, I just broke. It was so hard, so discouraging to realize that a negotiation tactic gave me a panic attack and it effed me up for a month. It started to even create more issues in my mental health. Trying to tell y'all something, man. Independent hip-hop artist Hoodie Allen. He distributes his music via TuneCore, which supposedly has no connection to Universal Music. If you're not a musician, you might not know what TuneCore is, but just know they're an independent distribution company. His music has hundreds of millions of streams on Spotify. A guy you've probably never heard of. Hundreds of millions of streams. Making a living. Doing what he's supposed to do. Hundreds of thousands of video creations using TikTok. Took to the platform and says, come yesterday, all my sounds are off the platform. Everything that I've built on here has been eliminated and no one can give me answers. I'm freaking out. He said he guessed that it was because he'd written one song in college with a writer who later signed with Universal Music on the publishing side. He says now this company can retroactively take all my songs down because they're in a proxy battle with TikTok. Not only that, they've taken albums down that have no Universal Music affiliation whatsoever. And there's no one who can help at all. Similarly, Ryan Oakes had his music removed because his label Position Music is distributed by Virgin, which is owned by UMG. He said he spent $20,000 of his own dollars into TikTok because it was working so well and he was getting a great return on his investment. Now those videos he spent 20 grand on, they just took them down. I spent $20,000 essentially for UMG, who I'm not signed to remove all my music and videos after they're the ones telling artists they need to blow up on this platform. We could keep going. Independent artist Blue Eyes, who uses DistroKid for distribution, which also is an independent distribution company that supposedly has no affiliation with UMG, but UMG has ownership stake in some of these companies. Posted to her TikTok and her 335,000 followers, which is nothing to scoff at. Most of her songs were also taken down because one of her co-writers is signed to a publishing company affiliated with Universal. They say, Universal, I know you don't care, but you are absolutely screwing everyone. This completely holds us hostage to be able to make any money. It's one thing to do this in the name of quote unquote protecting your artists and standing up for their rights. It's another to do this out of pride. And that's absolutely how it feels right now. It feels like Universal made a bluff. TikTok called their bluff. It's time to admit your mistakes and give everyone their music back. Me no likey. Me no likey. Right? Versace comes back. He says 2 huge corporations that are pulling the strings on behalf of artists. We are the actual product. Without us, they have nothing, but this showed me how little power we have. It's messed up, man. And again, the whole thing of this is if TikTok gets banned, there's going to be thousands more of artists that are going to be basically echoing these sentiments, these issues that they're facing. They're going to be decimated. Their careers are going to be in shambles because we spent the last 5 years hoisting up this particular platform. This is the one we chose. This is the one we've been giving our time to, our energy to, our thoughts and ideas to, our heartfelt stories to, and all of a sudden, it seems like all of that is being snatched away. Right? Again, there's people that have launched companies making money, taking care of their households off of this particular platform, right? Think about the people in the beauty industry that are making a living off of selling product on TikTok, right? Think of all of the people in the fashion industry selling product on TikTok. I mean, them Telfar bags, right? Like they blew up off social media. Just imagine if all of the social media in the midst of their rise just went away. Of course, we know the musicians, but even the filmmakers. What about the people that are creating short films? What about all of the people that are working on campaigns that are being geared towards TikTok, right? There's so many advertisements. You can't even get on TikTok today without an advertisement taking over your entire screen before you even can get to the shit that you want to see. Think about the people that work on those projects for the advertising to even be there. Think about how many jobs are going to be in jeopardy when they no longer have advertisements to work on because the platform's taken out. You don't see that shit on Instagram, right? Them advertisements on Twitter are shit. All I see is Skechers. Get that bullshit out of here. So, yeah, a lot of people are going to be affected. Like, they don't really see the windfall, but this shit, hey, this is fully political. You may think this is about some creative, altruistic shit. You may say, I don't even get on TikTok. I don't listen to music on TikTok. I don't discover new artists on TikTok. Yeah, that's you. But beyond that, when all of these people, money get affected, Joe Biden, your ass is grass, right? Like, niggas don't want Trump. But as you can see, Trump has shifted his tune and says he now supports TikTok. There's going to be a lot of people that are manipulated and persuaded by his bullshit. And they're going to vote for him because a lot of the other stuff that's in legislation, they don't relate to it. Even though it's going to affect them probably even more. They're looking at comfort, ease of access, entertainment, right? Give me my fucking TikTok. That's what they feel. And they're going to go with whoever is on that side. So Biden, I saw that you signed it yesterday, that bill. You might want to think twice about playing that game. Your job is not safe, right? Your position is not guaranteed. I would hate to see you have to forfeit your spot or forfeit your votes because you took an old nigga approach rather than being progressive. You've been trying to be progressive this whole time, doing the student loan rollbacks, all of this other shit, and you gonna let TikTok draw the line in the sand for you? Should have called Obama. Should have got advisement from your big homie. It's about to be curtains for you, sir. And Lord knows you need some sleep. The curtains are going to get peeled back. It's going to get dark in your house, sir. Set your alarm. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the post notification bell for all updates. I know this was a break from some of the more entertaining stories, the drama, the gossip, the beef and rap. But sometimes we got to talk about some real issues that's going on in the world and talk about what's really coming, because we live in a space now where I could get on this camera and talk to y'all, and I can actually be compensated pretty handsomely from it, depending on how many of y'all tune in, you know, the numbers, all of the metrics, analytics, data, all this good shit. But when we start seeing companies get forced to sell or be banned, it puts all of us in jeopardy. If you don't think that they could start doing that to other social media companies and just being like, we don't like who's in position at your office, you have to forfeit your position or sell. We don't like the politics of your company, you need to sell it. And motherfuckers say, before I sell it to you, I'll take it down myself, kiss my ace. Shit could get a little tricky out here, man. Again, let me know what y'all think of this down below in the comments. I will see y'all on the next one. Much love and respect. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming, I swinging like soldier rags. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but you run no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.